please rise for the prayer and the pledge.
Father in heaven, we thank you for letting us be here tonight. Lord, our plan is that we do business for the people, and we'd like to know what your plan is. We'd like you to give us your words, your wisdom, your demeanor, and give us everything we need to do what's going to please you tonight, and let us serve the people in the process. That's in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic, and one nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm going to welcome you to the October 2nd, 2025, initially the zoning meeting. Only thing I will ask, we would like to keep any comments as concise as possible, and if, not repetitive, if there's more than one person that needs to represent a particular item on our agenda. So if you could just try to adhere to that, please. Opening of the meeting. We'll start with the roll call, please.
Mr. Engler?
Here.
Mr. Clemens?
Here.
Mr. Erdy?
Here.
Mr. Gidry?
Here.
Mr. Wax?
Here.
Mr. Dana?
Here.
Mr. Burns?
Here.
Miss Ferris?
Here.
Miss Long?
Here. Item number 5, the adoption of the minutes of the regular zoning meeting from September 4th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ms. Ferris with Mr. Engler seconding, please. You'll take a vote.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Gidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Miss Ferris?
Yes.
Miss Long?
Yes. Item number 6, a formal vote on the public input time limit that we had discussed previously. I believe we set that at 3 minutes. Have any comments or discussion on that? Yeah, the 3 minutes. Yeah, right. So we're going to put it formally in place. If you'd like to take a vote. Right, yes, please.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we enforce a 3-minute time limit
I second.
on public speakers.
I second. I'm sorry, Brady.
Mr. Gidry.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Gidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Miss Ferris?
Yes.
Miss Long?
Yes. Item number 7, public hearings and for rezoning requests. Number 7A, we have case number 25-42, Boyette Lane, parcel number 0202895-R1 will be, the request is to go to C1. It's council district number 6. Do we have anyone here from the public that would like to represent that? Yes, sir. You would please state your name and sign in.
My name is John Mangus, 28283 South Satsuma Road, Livingston, Louisiana. And I just want to let you know that absolutely I understand the issues with changing this to C1 and the fears that, I shouldn't say fears, but trepidation, I guess, that it turns to a business or in a residential area if something happens to that tower. So I've been requesting since the whole process of zoning started that we create a municipal zone. Municipal zone would be for schools, the courthouse, sheriff's office, substations, any of that, as well as these communication towers. And that's all that could be there. But I'm going to let Mr. Keene address this too, because I spoke with Nathan Lipscomb of WSP, and he has a suggestion which will take action of the council, and hopefully that will be okay with the residents or the majority of the residents in Boyette Lane.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna go from right here if it's okay.
That is fine.
So Nathan sent us an email today, and I understand, I've talked to several people that live there, and they're worried that if y'all do changes C1 in a subdivision, something happens to the tower, it would still be C1. They could sell it as C1. So he recommended doing a allowable conditional use in that R1, but the council would have to put it into their ordinance at the next meeting. He said, put it on the next council meeting, introduced, and so 2 weeks after that. So 3 weeks from now, it could be a conditional use.
Yes, sir.
And that means that it would never change, like if.
Yeah, the R1, whatever the zoning, underlying zoning, would never change. So if something went on, they didn't build the tower,
Correct.
it would still have to say
Correct,
stay.
yeah.
And I think that's the right answer. And it would help a lot of related concerns of the constituents that live there.
Okay.
And because that is a very much a legitimate concern. And these cell towers, as you know, have been such a huge problem. They've tried in the district that I represent to get more of them because it's underserved, especially if you have AT&T, especially if you have AT&T on Hammock Road, it drops. They can't put it at Jubin Park Elementary was one of the places they wanted to put it first. So they want to actually buy this. AT&T has finally agreed to buy this property. But they want it switched. Hopefully we can keep it as residential, R1.
So anybody here?
AT&T. We do have people from Boyette Lane, right? Please come up. Come forward.
Just. So we haven't.
Yeah.
We're still in the process of decision
Right.
making. If it's conditional, and if you can step up to the mic, if you have any other questions. And just state your name, if you would, please, and sign in. And then, ma'am, you'll be right after him, if that's okay.
John Cheadle. Yeah.
And to your question that you would be able to sell, yes, that does not prevent that if this were to be considered conditional. So either way, if it were to be approved as conditional or to change it to C1, either way you could still sell. But the conditional, all it does is say that you only can allow this particular project, but it doesn't let, if they, like you said, if they did not do it, say something fell through and AT&T, even if you were no longer in the picture and they owned the property, they could not turn around and sell it as commercial. It would maintain its status as R1 when they went to sell the property, because we would only, if we approach it as a conditional.
So actually, when it passes my hands, I'm out of the picture.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes.
Thank you.
Oh, no, yeah. No, and it would it has to go, you have to go through the process, the entire process with the council and everything. But in the sense of what conditional means, it does not prevent you from doing anything. Now, ma'am, would you like to step up and just share your name if you would and sign in?
Hello, my name is Ashley Linder. I live at 22550 Boyette Lane. I appreciate the council coming with an alternative option. I prepared some of my concerns based on the rezoning to C1, not understanding that this option would be presented. So I'm just going to read my thoughts that I had written down for you guys. I respectfully voice opposition to the rezoning request for the property located on Boyette Lane being requested from residential R1 to commercial C1. My husband and I, along with the other residents that are here from Boyette Lane and some that are not, believe this rezoning would have unwanted negative impact on our community neighborhood. As the Livingston Parish Planning Committee, I respectfully request that the council members here also deny this request. Some of the objections that we have include that we have a Hammock Estate neighborhood restriction, and it states, and I quote, "All lots are hereby designed as residential lots, and no business or commercial activity shall be conducted upon any lot." End quote. The neighborhood is defined by this zoning of residential lots and single-family homes. Number 2, undermining property values. The zoning change would undermine, and this is based on the potential for commercial
Right.
businesses, but the zoning change would undermine financial investments we have all made into our homes. Placing commercial properties next door to us or on the same street with single-family homes erodes the value of our homes. Approval of this request could potentially set a concerning precedent, opening the potential for similar future requests, which would fundamentally alter the makeup of our established community, leading to a certain decline in our everyday living standards. And then straining of public services. Our street is narrow. It's a one-way in, one-way out. It's not equipped for any of the land use types listed under C1. Basic furniture deliveries are often an issue getting in and out of our street. I kindly ask that you consider the long-term well-being and stability of the residents on Boyette Lane and deny this request, upholding the current zoning of residential R1. Thank you very much for your consideration and hearing my input this evening. If it were to be considered with the alternative option, I just heard a new concern in the back, and we're trying to just funnel them through me so as to listen to your recommendation. If the tower were right above us, none of us have any service issues at all. I asked everyone, I don't know if this is true, but a lot of people say that when you're directly under a service tower, it impacts your service negatively. So if that's true, that would also be another consideration and issue for the residents on the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else with any comments? If you'd step up, please state your name and sign in.
On 2 lots next to where this is going. And if it does happen to pass, my brother did some work for Mr. Cheatham a little over a year ago, and he went in and he underbrushed it. So the inside is all, it would have to be recut now, but it's kind of clear. But he left a tree buffer all the way around. Will that buffer be maintained, or will I have to sit on my swing on the front porch and look at this metal tower? And will they wind up putting up some type of fencing, like cyclone fence, to keep our kids, because we're looking at 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
8, 9-year-olds.
They're
that rides the
required to,
bikes?
they are required to put
Okay.
up an 8-foot fence because it's commercial next to residential.
Okay,
So they are required to do that.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
as to maintaining the landscape that's there, that has to be determined more so with the company participating.
yes, ma'am.
But it's certainly, usually we see, if it's at all possible, we see them try to do things like that.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you can certainly address it with your councilman and see if they can possibly communicate with the potential buyers, as well as the seller can also express
Yes,
those
ma'am.
requests. But that's not something that we can necessarily hear at this point. Now, they would have to come back to us from a standpoint of planning versus this is zoning. So
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
in the planning stage. So you're welcome to come at that time and express your concerns about that if it were to move forward.
Yes, ma'am, because it's like from that wall to that wall is my house from the
Mhm.
landline, and that's what we would see when we have
Yeah.
cookouts or parties, is this big, huge
Well, I will
tower,
tell
so-
you that the tower is required to be able to fall and collapse and still have a buffer if it were to ever do that. So it's a significant distance, but all that'll be determined during the planning stage. If it
Yes,
were
ma'am.
to move that, move forward like that, that you can, again, you can certainly participate in that conversation.
I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Okay, anyone else? All right, we're going to close the public hearing on this item. Do we have any comments from the department further, other than what you mentioned? Again, we're not at the planning stage, so I really don't know what the height of the, I mean, you wouldn't happen to know what height they're looking at. I'm sure it would accommodate, but,
So it's a large lot, and even at the largest, tallest that we've had so far, it would still fall within the radius.
you're within, okay.
Ms. Scooter, are you through? I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Do you know, is anybody here that can tell us whether it's gonna be a monopole tower or with guy wires?
I don't think we know any of that
No.
yet.
How high it's gonna be?
That'll come in
That would be in the
planning.
planning
That'll
stage.
come in the
They're just
planning
asking
stage.
for a
Important to
rezoning.
know, this pretty tight fit. This little lot here is probably just a fraction over an acre.
It's two.
Well, two something by two something. Anyway,
2.18, yeah.
How would you, I guess my question is, how would you feel a tower, even in the center, would be, I know the new ordinance takes out a lot of language on roads and boundaries and stuff, but it does talk to the height of the tower plus 30 feet.
Well, they'll have to meet
Mr.
those
Gerald, that'll be in
requirements
the
during
planning.
planning, yeah.
Huh?
That's in the planning. You'll have
I
to.
know that, but you have to take that in consideration here. If you're gonna put a cell tower on it, the fall radius is the height of the tower plus 30 feet, and how would you fit that on this lot?
Well, y'all would deny that if it
Period,
didn't
whether
fit.
you-
Yeah, if it
Now or
did,
later, how would you do that?
You would deny that if it didn't
That's a
fit at
valid
the planning
question.
stage.
I think it's a valid question, so.
Yeah.
okay.
They hadn't brought that to us. This is just a
I
zoning
know,
change
but how
request.
can you make
Yeah,
a
no, I
decision
didn't.
here without knowing anything else and what structures are next door and so forth? How could we make a decision on that?
Well, this is conditional. All we're going to be doing is saying it would be a conditional approval. And then if they came to planning and it didn't qualify, then that conditional approval was only specifically for this. So it basically goes away.
Ms.
So
Catherine.
there is no
I guess I have
concern.
another question. If Mr. Nathan Lipson recommends not to approve C1, why are we going conditional?
Well, they're doing that because if we did approve C1, if, say, AT&T, if the tower couldn't be large enough, like you said, and it wouldn't be able to fit in the space, and they decided, okay, we're just going to sell it, the next person could fall under the C1 zoning, and that's what we didn't want to happen. So therefore, if you do conditional,
Well,
it goes away.
Miss
if we're
Kathy?
gonna- if
Yes.
And y'all can't do conditional night because it's not in that R1. But after the council puts it in place, then they'd bring it back to y'all and you would give a conditional
If we
use.
approve conditional, then automatically it's gonna be C1, so, well,
No.
well,
Just-
it don't change the zoning, but if you do conditional use, and then you're gonna put commercial, it's commercial. That's
Okay.
my opinion.
Mr. Clemens?
2 acres, this looks like it's roughly a square configuration. 2 acres would be 295 by 295. So you're looking for the center to the edges, about 150 feet. So that leaves you 100 foot plus another 50 foot, which does encompass the 100-foot tower plus 30 foot additional. There is room for it to fit.
Yes, ma'am, Mrs. Ferris.
There are restrictions on the lot on file that says it can't be commercial. All lots are hereby designated as residential lots, and no business or commercial activity shall be conducted upon any lot. Only one family may occupy a lot. That is for the declaration of restrictions for Hammock Estates second filing. So I don't know how we can even consider a C1 zoning if that's in violation of the restrictions for the property itself.
I agree with you, Mr.
Right, and I think that's part of the conversation that Mr. Mangus and Mr. Keene have had that an alternative would be conditional for this specific use only.
I think for that to be the case, though, the residents would have to agree because they've all bought property with these assumed restrictions, and I don't think we can override that.
Okay, yes, sir, if you'll step back up, please.
We're talking about the restrictions on that subdivision.
Yes,
Do I need to sign it again?
no,
Okay.
no, thank you.
If you read that subdivision restriction, there's a restriction about subdividing the property. There's a restriction about having trailers on the property after 1990, I believe. Those are not being met. They're not being complied with. So the restrictions on the subdivision are null and void.
I think that's a legal opinion that we can't consider. It's civil
Yeah,
and
I don't
it,
see a provision in here that says if you violate it, then it's null and void. So I think the only thing that we can consider is what's before us, not what
Yeah.
other people
Okay.
have done, in violation of this before.
and it also typically, at least what I've experienced in the past, but I'm going to let Ms. Sanchez share.
I just want to so in the past, I've been told by legal that we cannot enforce deed restrictions. Of course, we don't have counsel here now, which would be very helpful, but I believe deed restrictions comes down to a civil matter.
Right.
So we as the parish, I don't think we're allowed to
Yeah.
enforce them.
But I do recognize what
Yes.
you're saying is very accurate. People bought property for presumption. But at this point, because it's not in place yet, as Mr. Keene says, we could not grant the conditional tonight anyway. And so it's really more back to the issue of the request regarding commercial. And then a second comment I want to make is, in the past, when you get to restrictions, the null and void becomes to the subject at hand. If a fence can only be 6 foot and someone puts an 8 foot and they allow it, then the fence restriction comes into question, not the entire body of the restrictions. So, again, recognize what you're saying where they violated other things, but it doesn't necessarily apply to this.
Okay.
But for tonight, we strictly need to address the C1 issue.
So, Miss Kathy, would you recommend that he pulls this tonight and wait on because if he gets a denial tonight, he can't come back through for a year.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to, yes, ma'am, if you want to step back up.
Junior,
Mm-hmm.
who owned it, to subdivide mine, James McManus across the street. We were given permission. We had kids
Okay.
to put. so I
Okay,
just
but
wanna know
again,
that.
it falls civil, but
Yes,
it
ma'am.
also,
But I just wanted to know I was given permission.
that you had written, yes, thank
through
you.
Earl Ham- who-
Okay,
like I
thank
said,
you.
it's Earl Hammock
Um,
Estates, so he gave me.
That is a definite thing to consider.
John Mangus, 28283 South Satsuma. We might want to consider pulling it, which I'm never an advocate of that, but until we get more information on it, because really, Ms. Ferris, and you're correct, all you can do is deny it at this point.
And it, well, correct.
Yeah. And another thing, we do need to consult legal, because that conditional use may become what, and I'm not a lawyer, but what's called an encumbrance on that property. And then the question was, could you sell it?
Correct.
And so,
Well,
anyway.
and from our understanding, though, when you grant conditional, it's for that specific item
Right.
only, and then basically it drops away if that doesn't happen. So if they didn't do the tower, nothing else can come in and take the conditional status, has been the approach previously.
Right, but that's correct from what I understand as well.
Right.
But if they did do the tower, that would be an encumbrance on that property if anybody wanted to sell it. It wouldn't, right? It wouldn't be C1 or anything, but it now comes with that.
Well, it would come with the tower, yes. I mean, it's kind of, right,
Yeah.
So we're
Right.
talking about putting C1 in a resident,
yeah.
Right.
right
So,
beside. So
well, sir, it would be it's up to you whether you decide to make the decision to pull the item from the agenda because you're the only one that can, because you submitted the application. But he is correct that if you move forward, the C1 is denied, the request for any changes at all cannot be presented for a year. So, for our,
We're gonna work on it.
yeah,
We'll start on Monday with John, and he'll put it to the council, and then, yeah, he
Yeah.
pulls, okay?
okay. So, we have, yes, I'm sorry, yes, comment.
So what we're moving towards then is the option to put a cell phone tower
In
anywhere there's
subdivision.
R1 zoning.
Yeah, sound like it.
I just want to state that. That's the alternative, is if we're not going to grant commercial zoning, what we're instead saying is you can leave your zoning just as it is, and anywhere that somebody has the zoning of an acre or more, they can come ask for conditional use to put a cell phone tower there.
Well, but conditional also means that each one is an isolated situation.
We're going to get hit with a lot more of those, though, is my concern.
Like
So-
Ms. Harris speaking
And
on R1, we allow small businesses,
Yeah,
but nothing large.
right.
And we're trying to go to a C1 in a subdivision.
Well, I think there's a lot to be learned, and a lot of questions and a lot of things to be learned.
But that doesn't necessarily say it's going to pass. When you, what you
No.
work out, we still might have a problem with it being in a subdivision. Just because you're trying to work that out doesn't mean we're going to follow that suit.
Okay. All right, so we have a formal request to remove item 7A by Mr. John Cheatham. Okay, moving on to the next item. Let's see. We have 7B, case number 25-43 at 10924 Arnold Road, parcel number 0270199. And that is to go from an R2 to an R1.5, and it's Council District 3. I'm gonna open the public hearing for this item. Do we have anybody here representing this item?
Amanda Nelson, 10868 Arnold Road. I am a resident to the neighboring property for a little over 18 years now, and so my husband and I came because we don't really understand this, and we kind of wanted the rundown of what this means for us, and this gentleman was nice enough to kind of give us a little bit of background to let us know, but I would like to know, I do not have a problem with it being rezoned from only houses to mobile homes, but I would like to know if we could limit the number of mobile homes, because I feel like people try to crowd 2, 3, 4 mobile homes, and you know, we've been a resident for 18 and a half years. Our house is almost paid off, and I would rather not have 4 mobile homes beside me. So I just wanted to see if y'all did lift the restrictions, if you could possibly restrict it to be 1 or 2 at the maximum. The property is a little over 2 acres, but is very narrow in the beginning, and it widens in the back towards the creek. And we flooded in 16 because of the work that they have tried to do to put a house on it. So I'm not opposed to mobile homes, but I would like to see that we limit the number that goes there. So anyway, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So anyone else would like to speak on this item? Okay, I'm gonna close the public hearing on this item. Do we have any comments from the department? Okay,
No, ma'am.
all right. Commissioners? I think so.
Yeah. The max would be 5 mobile homes.
The max will be. I don't. No, I got you. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's my opinion entirely, is that this is one of these specific situations of we grant the rezone, it then becomes a minor resub. We've just changed the minor resub ordinance to 6 lots or more. This would be subdivided into 5. It would be a mobile home park that didn't go through any mobile home park permitting process, that wasn't zoned as a mobile home park, which we've been trying to get away from.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is that
Well-
Little Dumpling Creek?
West Coast, yeah. West Coast.
West
Yeah.
Cordell.
Now, I will make you aware that he's simply stating that they have the possibility to do 5. It doesn't mean that that would be their plan. So we can't say that that's their plan, and the particular property may not be feasible, like you're saying, it doesn't make sense. He's just stating that within that 1.5, that's the max that they could do. Just kind of answering your question, but it may not be feasible for the property, but I think there are concerns,
I
so.
was doing the vision, making sure.
One thing, if you're looking at it from a planning standpoint, when you put a 60-foot right of way down, that's,
Yeah.
you know, it's gonna be rough. And I haven't talked to these, but I don't know what their plan is. I just know it's for sale. When I took pictures, they had for sale signs. I think these people are more worried about drainage issues, which trailers would be less of a problem, you know? And so I don't know which way y'all need to go with this. It's up to you guys.
So to explain the process is, that we're at zoning right now, but they would have to come through the planning department. And that's when they'd have to do a minor resub. There's a lot more that would have to take place for them to do these individual mobile homes. So there are phases in that it may not qualify. We're just stating that the R 1.5 allows up to 5. It doesn't mean this property could do that, you know, could accommodate that. But unfortunately, there's no one here representing the property, so, yes, sir.
One thing concerns me is that when the only purpose for rezoning is to change the value of the property, something we're discouraged from doing, there's no plan presented here whatsoever.
Well, there kind of is a plan in their permit application, or in their rezoning application. I think if you read the brief explanation for the zoning map change request, it says they want to put mobile homes, uses plural, and then it talks about they intended on, you know, restoring it back to the historically permitted use for the property, supporting housing affordability, flexibility to meet current housing needs. So it doesn't sound, I mean, I know they're not here to talk, but it doesn't sound like this is just a landowner that wants to put a trailer on their own land to live in it. Sounds like exactly what.
Yeah. Well, it's
Sarah
indicating that
mentioned.
it was a selling point because this individual doesn't necessarily plan to do it himself, but that they could put mobile homes at the time, but there's no guarantee, like you say, if whoever would buy it, you have no idea what they would want to do with it. So, yes, sir.
And the thing is that I talked to Steve and Nathan about these things, and Steve always implores that that's a much greater restriction, R 1.5, than R2. You know, because you can put 3.75 lots in R2, you can't put the 2 per acre in R 1.5. Whether it's trailers or not, it's
Okay,
know.
so how many acres could be put on this property if it were subdivided?
how many lots?
I mean, how many lots could be?
Well, we don't, with the layout, it's hard to tell, but if the way it is right now, that's pretty easy.
I think what he was saying is, it's 2.5 acres if you change
Technically,
it.
5 if you include the drain.
It's 2.5.
Mr. Scooter,
That's 9.
Mr. Scooter.
Sir.
On this piece of property, is that there a big drainage canal?
Oh, yeah, it's West Coyell.
Yeah, my granddaughter
Yeah.
looked at this piece several months ago. That's why I know about it, but
Yeah,
part of
that's-
it, looked like
That's
to
why
me
these
is a
folks
big.
that live there are concerned about the drainage. They don't really, they're not worried about, from what I gather, about what's there. They don't really care what's there. Right.
Right.
But when we take consideration, on the half-acre lots, it includes servitudes, drainage, roads, whatever private. It does include all that, so technically they could put 5 if they could configure it.
Yeah, I think it'd be hard to put it on that piece the way it's
Yeah,
shaped.
it would.
I have no idea what they want to put. They just asked for a zoning change. Y'all want to change
Well, he
it?
specifies.
I think it's much more restrictive It does allow trailers, but much more restrictive in the number of lots. You can put 5 as opposed to 9.
So what is surrounding this property? What is, mobile homes or what?
Wait, that's, or twos. No, I was looking at the ag.
I can't hear her.
Yeah, could you step up,
I can't
please?
hear her.
3 years ago, we put $5,000 worth of dirt in our backyard because they dug a pond, used the dirt from the pond and built a beautiful house pad. I mean, it would be a beautiful piece of property to have a house built on, but it was causing water to sit in our backyard. We have cypress trees, they have cypress trees, so that just shows you that, you know, it's low land. We've been there for a long time. So, I don't have a problem with that, but we have a brick home. I would rather a mobile home park, not, we have a house across the street from us, a house to the left of us, a house to the right to us, and we have a subdivision that's directly behind us, which is Lake Point, that was built after we lived there as well. So it doesn't make sense for a mobile home park to be there. We didn't understand what all this meant. That's why we're here today, just asking for y'all to take that in consideration. We don't have any trailers around us. We're just a little group of houses right there. So there's a trailer on the other side of their driveway, and then you have the little bridge. So
Well, if someone were to purchase it and build a home, they can't, like, shed tons of water onto your property. That would,
well, the house pad's already there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about a house being built on there.
Yeah.
They did a decent job doing that.
Okay, any other comments by commission?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Dan.
As it is, as R2, they
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, as a zone currently, R2, they could have up to 9 lots,
Mm-hmm.
but they would have to build house pads. It sounds like it floods, they'd have to put a lot of dirt, and that would be a lot, even more water displacement. But with the trailers, like what was said, it's very minimal. You can put, you know, a trailer up and not have to disturb the flow of the water even more. So it just doesn't look like they can put 5 on there, but that's just an observation.
Yeah. Okay, any other comments, or does anyone have a motion?
I'll make a motion to deny the request.
Okay. You could take a vote.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Ms. Long?
Yes. And just for your knowledge, it would be a year before they could come back to make another request on that particular property. Okay, item number C. We have case number 25-44 on Weiss Road, parcel 0535633A, and an R1 to R1.5, district number 1. Is there anyone would like to speak on this? I'm opening the public hearing. State your name, sir, and sign in, please.
Jeff R. 34403 Weiss Road, and I have some literature I'd like to pass out.
Thank you.
All right, so the first thing that I have on there is petition of the landowners that's directly affected by this. Basically saying that we oppose it being changed to 1.5. And if you look at the colored map, back when we originally zoned all this, it was brought, I was the councilman, was working with the engineer, and I said, look, zone it for what it is. That's why the people moved out there. That's what they want. That's how they want to live. So don't try to change things. So everything on that road is R1, all the way down Reese Road. On the backside, all the green is agricultural land. And that's what we want to see. Now, I do want to make sure that the majority of us, I can't say all of them, some were against it, but the majority of us don't really have a problem with him, having 3 lots and building, 3 houses on it. But we are opposed to the 1.5. The main reason is you see that big old green spot back there? That's a big piece of property back there. And 10 years from now, developer rides down that road and sees that one lot that's R1.5, and he says, that's my end. That's my legal case to try to get 1.5 and develop this piece of property. And that's what zoning is for. It's to give the citizens a voice like y'all sit here and listen to, and finally have some say-so in what goes on where they've invested their life savings. But we are not against him being able to do this. If there was another way to give it to him, we'd be all for it. Let him build his 3 houses. But we're really concerned with the 1.5. And actually, the last map I put on there to show you how big everyone's lots actually are in that area.
And my understanding, this is, based on his application, this is strictly for family, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I think, is there anyone else that wants to speak on this? Yes, sir, if you want to come forward. State your name and sign in, please.
Jeremy Glasscock, 29960 Marsh Drive, Livingston, Louisiana. My wife and I bought, I'm going to say 4 1/4 acres up there 18 years ago. We built a house. Jobs changed, life changed. We moved back to town. We sold 2 acres with the house, so that left 2 1/4. Our plan was always to go back up there. Had no idea zoning was coming. We didn't buy this in the middle of zoning. Been trying to get it zoned since 19. When my previous councilman that lives across the street gave several waivers or variances, whatever they called, for trailer parks in R1, agriculture to back down to R1, different situations. This land's on a major highway. It's not landlocked. I get what he's saying behind. You'd have to go down a little gravel road that the timber company owns to get to that green spot. There's a small neighborhood business right past his house. Commercial at intersections up the road 1 mile. So it's not all a Weiss Road, but this is 118. Do y'all have a map of the lots? Because I had it surveyed. So this started in 19, mid-year. I went to the surveyors. They said the council has a moratorium. We can't divide anything. So it's really been going since mid of 19. A few months later, moratorium got lifted. They surveyed the property, turned the survey in towards the end of November. I think the previous meeting before that, they had enacted zoning. I've been to all the WSP meetings, filed paperwork to try to get it changed during the zoning. I've seen lots of people trying to get theirs changed during the zoning. I asked Mr. Nathan I think that's his name, with WSP at a different meeting up in Watson. And I asked him, I said, why did I see all these people that put in for changes, they're still having to come before the planning board? And he said, well, since this parish did not rescind zoning in districts 1, whatever the other 3 were, we were not allowed to honor any changes. So we've really never had any input on the land we bought 18 years ago. I'm not trying to sell the land. If I wanted to sell it, I could have sold it already multiple times as 1 lot, or, I'm not going to get any more for 3 3/4 acres than I would for 2 1 acre lots. So I get the 1.5, but you'd have to go behind it on a little small road, and it's not on a major highway, which I think makes a big difference. So that's my thing. It's just for my wife and kids and I. That's it. And if mobile homes were a concern, I could drop it into 2 1-acre lots right now and put 4 mobile homes. Right now, you can only put 3. We have no plans of putting mobile homes. Me and my wife's going to build a home up there, and that's what we're going to retire to. That's it. Nothing's for sale. I hate to say it, but if the kids didn't want it and wanted to sell it, I'd probably have to buy it back. You know, but that's it. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Okay, any comment from anyone else? Close the public hearing. The department, Mr. King, do you have anything? Okay. Commissioner.
It's in our district, so, we come up, and I think, Brian, we spoke about the 1.5, with special cases and stuff, and I'm more on the further out you go, this is pretty much the north part of our district, and, you know, I have property, I want to be country, pretty much. I don't want half-acre lots up on top of me, same, no different out in the country. But I have, in your world, what you're talking about, I've spoke with my commissioner, councilman, and we need a family partition. And that helps solve, because if we go up here and we pass something like this, it allows no different than I could go buy the property behind your property and do it myself. And it allows a bunch of subdivisions start popping up on half-acre lot. But if we had a family partition where you can hand it to your children, I have daughters and I plan on handing them property. Same reason. If we had that, that's where I think our ordinance committee needs to get together and our council needs to get together and make something for the family people who have property that want to help. And it would keep us out of this spot, because being I have property, I definitely don't want a bunch of half-acre lots right beside me. And that's just my personal opinion. I mean, but at the same time, I have daughters that I want to give property to also. So I have a hard time passing it strictly because of voting to pass it, strictly because it's country. We come up here every month and we talk about so far from the interstate and working our distance out. There's property further north of us, but pretty much all of it's woods from this further north to the parish line. So that's just my opinion on it. I like 1-acre lots plus. I like larger than that myself.
Any other commissioner comment? Yes, ma'am.
I tend to agree with Mr. Engler, and I'm not opposed at all to what y'all are, what y'all are wanting to do with the property.
I've been waiting on that family petition for a long time. So February 20th.
I understand. Same here. I mean, I appreciate that you provided, you know, a subdivided map and all that with it, just, you know, adding credibility to what you're requesting. I'm hesitant for the same reasons that y'all have brought up to give the R1.5. I also don't want to vote to deny the R1.5 because I don't want to put you in the spot where you can't come back and we try to figure out what alternatives we have here. Family partition, I think, if we had that in front of us, would be the way to go, and we just don't have that. But in general, not opposed with what you're trying to do with your property at all, and I don't think it sounds like the neighbors generally aren't either.
Yes, sir. I think you were waiting.
John Mangus, we met today, several of us, about the family partition, and we still need to run one section by legal. I'm not going to say what that one part is, but I think we can meet again maybe Monday if you can do it.
Yeah.
So yes, the family partition is a very, very much. I wish I could say, I know it's needed, but I wish I could say 60 days, 30 days, whatever. It just can create a loophole which can take us down a road that for good, not how to say good. I know what you're talking about, Mr. Engler, Ms. Ferris. It would, for people of good intention, it's a good thing. It's a wonderful deal. For people of nefarious intent, it's an easy way to create something that we don't want in this parish. So like things we have where there's 5 addresses on a 1 acre piece of property, which exists and is a real thing. So I wish I could say we have it right now, but every time you make a law of anything, as you know, it's reducing somebody's rights in some way, shape, or form.
But what you just said, I agree with you, reducing my rights, because I have property.
Yeah.
Now, you're controlling what I can do on my property
Right.
and saying, well, you own 100 acres, and we're gonna control it.
Yeah.
But if that was 100,000 in your account, and I told you can only take 5,000 out a year, now I'm controlling you. So it's the same thing, because a lot of people up here in the country have properties. And that's investment for them, for their children on down the line.
Right.
Instead of leaving it in a bank account, they buying properties to be valued. In the past, I've already had. I mean, there's
Especially
people
if
that
they're
own-
entrepreneurs and didn't have like a 401k through a business or, an
They
employer.
got cattle on it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, there's cattle, so if you call that entrepreneur, but
Yeah. What did we find out? There's only, with the
I think it
4-H,
needs,
the county agent said there's only 4 operating full-time farms in Livingston Parish now. It's a
Mr. John,
shame.
I have a
Yes, sir.
question. I understand you're working on a family petition ordinance, right?
Yes.
We used to have one 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe we had family petition ordinances. I don't know what happened to it, but my
Zoning.
question to you: if you pass a family or petition ordinance, how would it affect this property? If it's denied tonight, he cannot come back for 1 year. Is that correct?
That wouldn't be a zoning change.
Yes,
He
family
can't come
petition
back
doesn't
for a zoning
affect-
change.
So even
but
if you denied him, in my opinion, we would have to ask legal, but in my opinion, if y'all denied a zoning change, a family petition is not a zoning change because it doesn't change the zoning.
If he's
No,
if he's
it's more of a use
denied-
of property.
If he's
Right.
denied, he can't come back within 1 year to ask for another zoning change. Am I correct?
A zoning change, but family petition is
That's my
not.
question. But he can come
Yeah,
back.
1 year.
But he can come back
Yep.
under a family petition.
Yeah, and so, Mr. Gerald, to answer
Yeah.
your question, when I was on the council, we removed the family petition because it was being abused so much. They were putting mini trailer parks all over the place.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
we had no control over it, so we said, let's get rid of it. Our way of policing it hasn't changed. There's no way for us to make people be honest,
Right.
okay? So these kind of things are gonna come up. It's y'all's call on any of them. Y'all are just planning and zoning commission. But I don't know if a family petition is gonna do what we think it's gonna do.
Right.
Is it
Well,
gonna create more problems? And yeah, I've been begging for one since I've been here 8 months because I got situations that come in there that they want to help their family, and they truly are. That these people, I've known them my whole life, and I go, well, we can't help you. I'm sorry. So a family petition would fix those, but it will also allow others to do stuff that they shouldn't do.
Well, I know it's being looked at very carefully. And so the fact that that would be the alternative to this situation. But
But what other can of worms does that open?
correct, unless it's,
Yeah, there's ditches on both sides of the road. It's pick your poison and which one is going to be abused the most is really the question. I did talk to Mr. Jerome several months ago about the family petition ordinance that he had written for Ascension Parish. Does it work well enough? Do you have a lot of cases of abuse of it? And he said it's not perfect. There are cases where it gets abused, but it works well enough for the most part. So I think the question just kind of comes down to what is going to do the least harm. Is it going to be to handle situations like this under a family partition ordinance? Or is it going to be to just grant the rezone because we're afraid of what the family partition ordinance can do? And then, what can of worms does that open up for the surrounding property.
Yeah, but they could ask for a waiver, which I know we're not fond of that, but for an additional address, right?
On this, no, I don't think that would apply.
I believe you'd
They're
have to
separate
subdivide
lots.
it in two. I don't know, subdivide it in two and then ask for an additional address on one of those
Yeah.
two, maybe.
Which they want it to be 3 parcels, so.
Right.
One for each daughter and one for he and his wife. So it's a 3-property situation.
So I know Mr. Glasscock is asking for y'all, he doesn't care what y'all have to do to let him do it. And
Right.
Jeff isn't against him doing it, but Jeff is asking the same thing. Is there anything, y'all pretty smart, can we come up with anything else besides those two, giving R 1.5 or making wait for a family petition? I don't know of anything. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how we can help in these instances without causing a bunch of more issues.
Right, because the recognizing what 1.5 can do to everything else is the problem. So, well, I think we find ourselves back in this position of you can pull it tonight if you want to give us time to revisit. I know they talked about getting together again this week. So that depending on what happens, it wouldn't prevent you from coming back. We're in a different climate right now because zoning is a liquid document at the time, that a lot of adjustments are having to be made. So though we normally don't love having things put on and pulled, I think we're in an unusual situation that having heard all the conversation, again, it would have to be up to your judgment of what. Okay. All right, then. That's what we'll do. Mr. Glasscock has requested that item 7C be pulled from the agenda.
Scooter, when y'all meet on Monday, can you call
And I do
them?
want you to know, sir, that.
Can you let them know, when y'all meet and discuss
Yeah.
what y'all talking about on the petition?
Yeah. It has been a very active conversation, so it's certainly something that's in the forefront. So, thank you. Okay. All right, I don't feel like we're accomplishing a lot. Let's see. So, item number D. We're going to go to 25-44 at 21825 Walker South Road, parcel number 0203638D, going from Ag to C1, Council District 6. Do we have anyone here representing this particular item? Going to open the public hearing. If you'll just state your name, sir, and sign in.
Good evening. I'm Chris Houston. I represent WCK. I'm the construction manager. And we went through the planning process for a commercial building. We've actually started construction already on our commercial building. It's an office building for WCK Foundation Repair and Drainage. And we just want to follow along with that commercial process and to get our area zoned to commercial.
Do we have anyone else here that would like to speak on this? Okay, no one else, so I am going to close the public hearing, but if anyone has questions of you, if you'll step up at that time. Okay, department, do you have anything, Mr. Keene, on this?
No, but this has been approved for quite a while, and he just wants it to match it needs to be commercial, to match his commercial business.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I know.
All right, any conversation or discussion? Or do we
It was
have
already commercial though, isn't it? Is this, I'm sorry.
It was
It's zoned
commercial.
ag, but the commercial building's already been.
Yeah.
And next door, both
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it
We
already
approved their
exists.
plan.
About
We
6
approved
months
their
ago.
plan a while back.
6-8 months ago.
Yeah, it just has to match up.
If you look at the pictures, you can see the building being constructed now.
Yeah. So,
For business reasons, it needs to be
well,
commercial.
for a lot of insurance, sale, bank, all that. So just some housekeeping. So do I have a motion on that?
Motion approved.
Mr. Clemens
I'll
and
second.
a second Mr. Engler.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemmons?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Ms. Long?
Yes. Progress, okay. Item number E has been pulled from the agenda. We'll move on to item number F. That's case number 25-47, Buddy Ellis Road, parcel number 0275859, going from R1 to C1, and that is, again, Council District 6. Okay, do I have, yeah, I see I do. So I'll open the public hearing.
Good evening. Sean Hyman with Alvin Fairburn and Associates, 1289 Del Este Avenue in Denham Springs. Here on behalf of the property owner, this property is located at the southwest corner of Buddy Ellis and LA 447. I should mention there's an adjacent tract. The next item on your agenda is a tract that is adjacent to this property, same property owner, same request for that one as well. So we have a total of roughly 8 acres that we're requesting to be rezoned to C1 light commercial. There should be an exhibit in your packet that shows the property across from 447 from us is also C1. As I'm sure you're aware, it's a pretty popular area, and we feel like the C1 light commercial would be a good use for the property. The property owner does, at some point in the future, intend on developing it and would prefer to use a commercial use for that. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, do I have anyone else that'd like to make any comments on this item? Yes, sir. If you'll step up and state your name.
AJ Holland, Walker South, South Gaylord Road. I just want to make sure that it's on record for this and the property that they're going to talk about, as well as probably the property for the dependable storage. That area right there, I've lived in that area for 44 years. That is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous section of road. You'll need to be real careful about your setbacks on that. Whatever you're thinking about setting it back, add 60 to 70 more feet on that. Because there's wrecks there pretty much once a weekend. It's either going to be at Glen Ellis Road or Buddy Ellis Road. It's not technically signage for a S curve, but it's a S curve. And it's bad. So like, as you're doing this and doing all the planning and zoning for that area there, you need to be really careful. So like, I just want that on record, because if my wife pulls out of there and there's something obstructing, I say what I mean and I mean what I say. I'm coming. So make sure you push that way back. Thank you.
My name is Trudy Norrisworthy, 26500 Walker South Road, Denham. Okay, basically, we just live across the street from where this man wants to put his business. And during 2016 flood, we had built our house up 4 feet, so our cars flooded, house didn't flood, came close. But the water, all the water that came in our yard, usually, I'm thinking that it usually goes toward the front ditch. That's where, as you go down Walker South, we're like the third house past Buddy Ellis on the right. So as you go down, there's like a little river. So usually the water comes from the back of our house when it rains to the front, big, huge ditch, to the canal. Well, when it flooded in 2016, the water came from that property. I mean, we're talking about that road kind of curves there, and it was like, it looked like a waterfall. It's like it was coming over the water. So, and they have built up, you know, that's like down Buddy Ellis. They have built so many houses since 2016. So our question is, first of all, I'd kind of like to know what they were going to build, you know, and what are they going to do about the, you know, make another house? They'd have to build up. I mean, a lot to put a business there. And I don't even really have a problem of a business. and I don't want like a bar or something, but, and I wouldn't want a trailer park.
Right. Well, just for clarification,
Okay.
this process is for zoning only.
Okay.
And what they will have to do is come back, if it were to be approved, they'll have to come back through the planning stage. That is where they have to provide drainage studies. There's a lot of different phases in that.
Yeah.
So there will be a process at that point. They have to advertise that they're coming, and they'll have a big sign out there stating that this is what they're trying to do. You can then attend the meeting that really follows this meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna do, I'm thinking you're gonna
I'm
approve
just saying,
it
we have no
because- yeah,
knowledge.
yeah.
We actually, right now, this process, we have no knowledge of what they're going to do.
Okay.
And usually they have to know, are we going to even be approved in what they're requesting before they even attempt to entertain ideas of what they would like to do, or they don't draw plans, they don't do anything until this phase is approved. And because it could be denied.
Right.
And so that, you're welcome to come back at that time.
Okay, I have no problem with it being commercial.
As
You
far
know.
as long-term plans go, I'm aware that the parish is working on 4-laning,
That's what
Walker
I
South
heard.
all the way to Joe May.
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
that from several sources.
Yeah, I talked to
recently even.
somebody, I don't.
That was me.
Buddy,
And,
Yes,
Buddy
ma'am.
or somebody.
Scooter. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
But as far as setbacks go,
Yeah.
Mr. Holland, if we 4-lane this, gee whiz, you're looking about another 60 feet. And you're right, that is probably the worst place in the parish to have accident.
How wide would, I know that's a different question, but how wide would?
4 lanes?
If you took the front of our.
Lanes have to be
100
20 feet
They're-
apiece?
No, 10 foot apiece per lane.
With, what I'm talking about with setbacks, I mean,
And there will be a roundabout there
another
too.
20 feet?
It's coming. It's been in.
Yeah, so
it's
at
already
least another,
designed.
yeah. But
So basically just
Mr.
deal
Bryan,
with the other later.
the
as far as-
4-lane is
main thing
gonna
is the
stop
flooding.
at Buddy Ellis Road.
Right, and that, they're required to do a
3-lane
drainage
all the way
study.
down to
And it'll go through our engineers. This is our parish engineer, and it'll go
And we
through
have
her.
fill mitigation. She mentioned building up. I wanted to make sure they have to mitigate any fill if they're in a.
Yeah, so all that'll be accommodated.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
If I may, I attended a meeting with DOTD, and what they're saying, they approved, Mr. Clemens is correct, Mr. Keene's correct, DOTD approved to widen Walker South, and there's levels of approval. This is like, it's further along, so it's not just pie in the sky. They approved, I think it was 17.6 million or whatever, to widen Walker South from the roundabout 4-lane to Buddy Ellis. Put a roundabout at Buddy Ellis, and then from Buddy Ellis to Joe May, 3-lane. However, they have no plans at this moment to widen the existing roundabouts or the overpass. So I don't quite, I'm just trying to envision how the widening of that one little area helps. It seems like an aneurysm to me, but I don't know. I'm not a traffic engineer as well. But yes, that's on that. So they would have to acquire right away, setbacks, Mr. Holland, all of those things. You've seen that they are working. They're already putting in the. They've been moving utilities. We've all seen that on Walker South, relocating the utilities. They've also added the turn lane for the what is it? South Fork Elementary. So.
And
Okay,
just to
so any
add-
other comments? I'm sorry?
They have to go to DOTD once they actually come with the plan, so that will all be.
Yeah, all that'll
incorporated
be
in their plan.
taken care of at the time.
Okay.
So no other comments. All right, we're going to close the public hearing on this item. Do I have any other comments? Yes, sir, Mr. Dana?
Yes, that intersection right there is very bad.
Yeah.
One of the reasons it's bad, if you're heading eastbound and you come up to Walker South, when you look to the right, there's dense, thick brush there. Now, the highway department cannot clear that out. But if it was residential and developed residential, there's a possibility the backyards may face Walker South. And those wooden fences could still obstruct the view. If it's commercial property, that would be parking lot, whatever.
Right.
And that would open up that area where you could see further down Walker South.
Right.
Because that is
Yeah.
a very dangerous place. I mean, you're looking left wanting to go north, cars. You got a little gap to go through, and if that was commercial, and you know they're not gonna put the building on the back of
Right,
it, you know.
right.
So that's all I'm saying is that, especially if DOTD is gonna stop widening right there, that could be a win-win, you know, that could be a benefit to have that cleared out and a commercial development there. Plus, it's on a corner, that's a good spot for
Right.
one to be at, just my point of view on that.
Okay, any other comments from Commissioner? Okay, do we have a motion?
I second that.
Take a vote, please.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns? Ms. Ferris?
No.
Ms. Long?
Yes. Okay, and I think as we discussed, item 7G is extension of this. So I will open the public hearing. Any other comments that we have not heard? Okay, we'll close the public hearing on that. And do we have any comments or a motion on this item? And I will state, just for the record, it is item 7G, 25-47, Walker South Road, parcel 0275842. And it is going from R 1.5 to C1, and again, Council 6. Any comments or motions? All right.
Ditto what was said previously.
Okay, so. All right, do I have a motion? Don't be shy.
I second it.
Okay, so Mr. Clemens, second by Mr. Dana.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
No.
Ms. Long?
Yes. Okay, item 7G passes. We'll move on to 7H. That is case number 25-48, Oliver Wheat Road, parcel number 0238501. 4 lots going from AG to C1. That's CI. And it's Council District 8. I'll open the public hearing on this item. Do we have anyone here for this particular project?
Good evening. My name is Tommy Klein. I represent Demco. We're the potential buyer of this property. We don't own it yet. We've signed a purchase agreement, which hinges on it becoming the correct zoning. We weren't exactly sure what to put for commercial, which category on the application, so we went with the one that y'all have. But basically, we're our office is the district office for Livingston is right up here on the road, and it's I think built in 1993, 94, somewhere in there. And it's a very small footprint, and we outgrew it years ago. So with the tremendous growth in the area, we're trying to find a better spot, bigger property to keep up with the business at hand. Especially after storms, we bring in a lot of people from out of state, and we need, a lot more parking than what we have. We have to rent spots after storms, and it's a real big headache trying to get the lights back on. It's just going to be a small operation of just an office building, pole racks, warehouse, not open to the public. We're going to keep our spot up here and keep our the ladies that work there because it's so close to the permit office. Everybody knows where it is, and we're going to possibly move some more Demco employees there from our substation group. But the proposed move, it's not going to be open to the public, but we're a pretty good neighbor, and I don't think anybody's going to have any trouble out of us over there. But if y'all have any questions,
Okay,
feel
well, that's
free to
good news
ask.
that you're not going to cause trouble.
Yes,
So,
exactly. I mean, we get a lot of flack in
okay.
social media lately.
Is this going to reduce the number of weekend outages?
Yes, absolutely. Hey, we'll be right there for the residents. A little bit quicker outage restoration time, hopefully.
And I will comment, congratulations on coming forth prior to purchasing the property.
Yes.
It's always a good thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do we have anyone else making comments for public?
Yes, my name's Jesse Wheat. Bought two lots right there off of Oliver Wheat Road. I think it was a 50 or 60 acre box pen before, and it's been subdivided up and sold off as large tracts for single homes. The restrictions that were put on to our spot. Now I own on the west side of Oliver Wheat, the first development side, and it was said for single family homes. Now this is also going to be a part of the same development, and as it was talked about earlier in the meeting, can that actually be done if the restrictions are for single family homes already? I don't know exactly what the restrictions are on the east side of the road because my paperwork and my mother-in-law's paperwork all have just our lots. But our concern is, opening these 4 lots up to, becoming commercial industrial use. I own literally right across the road from where they would be building. I don't want to look out and see a bunch of, poles or trucks and everything of that nature. So I'm completely against, setting this precedent right there in that area. It's already a heavily trafficked area, and bringing more obstructions and whatnot into that area, I just do not agree with that. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kim Rogers. I bought the lot. They have the 2 tracks. G&H was directly across the street, and then I'm right there. So I got the letter that says I'm 300 feet from it. Yeah, when we bought it, as a matter of fact, that closing, if you go there and you see across the street, it's got the big signs where they build in a subdivision. They told us there would be actually larger houses and more land, and it is subdivision. You can see if you buy it. I mean, what's for sale. Anyway, so that's directly across the street, and we bought this. My husband and I, this is going to be our retirement house, build in Smiler and moving here, and again, we thought it was going to be a nice subdivision across the street, not a business. We would never bought it, and that's definitely not what we were told at closing.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, any other comments from the public? We'll close the public hearing, and now any comments? Okay, nothing from the department. Ma'am, Ms. Ferris.
So looking at the existing anticipated land use map for the existing master plan, shows that whole area is either single family or agricultural. Looking at the future land use map for the master plan that we hope to adopt here in the next few weeks, it shows that area as a rural corridor. So kind of consistent with single family and agriculture. So neither the existing master plan that we have nor the direction that it looks like we're probably headed would align with a commercial office building, warehouse building. There's no other commercial or industrial in this area, so it kind of sets a bad precedent. I'm not particularly opposed to just an office building there. I don't think that in and of itself is particularly disruptive to that particular area. But it does kind of set a precedent for saying, okay, we're okay with commercial or industrial development in this area. And that opens up a lot of potential for a lot of things you may not want in that area.
And I do want to
got a
remind everyone
question.
the statement that he made, that it also would, that's where all their trucks would be, their lay-down yards, et cetera. So it sounds like fairly
I think-
significant operation.
I think there's a big convenience store on the corner of Oliver, Wheat, and 42, just constructed.
That's on- yeah,
At
right.
63?
The only thing, Ms. Sarah, the fifth lot to the right is a substation. It's a large Demco substation already, so it is already that lot, not the ones that he's asking for, but
And-
to the right,
Yeah.
it is industrial.
Honestly, I think if this were an expansion of the substation, this would be a different conversation because it would be a conversation more about when you consider a rezone, is there a particular benefit to the residents of the area? And a substation in that area, if that's what we were talking about, if that was a need, that could be a benefit to those residents, but an office building is not a particular benefit to those residents, in my opinion.
I can't disagree with that, but at the same time, substations are yards, buildings do have substations tied to them around the whole, multiple parishes.
Right, I
Both.
mean, but I
I'm
think.
not disagreeing with what you're
yeah.
saying, but
The,
it-
and
it-
how
they
long
do-
has that substation
they're-
been there?
Long time.
Okay, so in other words, I would imagine a fair amount of people that purchased the property, that substation existed, so you were aware. But I'm saying in the sense of you had the choice to know the substation was there, but you bought it with the pretense of expecting homes rather than an actual business. So just to remind that's been there for a long time, so, okay. Right, right. So, yes, sir.
So, yeah, the substation's been there a very long time. There's also a transmission line that serves that substation that goes through the substation from north to south. And like Mr. Norman said, I don't know how it's classified, but the substation should be classified different than what it is now if it's R now, correct?
But I think, right, but it's also pre-existing, so that really, anytime that's the case, we kind of have to, I mean, it's there, so it has to be
Yeah.
accepted, but it's not the same as bringing in something new. And I think also one of the things that we're expressing is the traffic, the employees, the activity level of what is going to happen here is completely different than a substation that does not have any activity. It exists, but there's no activity around it.
Well,
So-
and another thing too, it's on the agenda, it says Oliver Wheat. The property is on 42, actually, majority of it, in case anyone didn't know, that there is that one lot there on the corner that we want to purchase, to be able to purchase the whole tract that's on Oliver Wheat. But the majority of it's on a state highway, which is generally good for what commercial's after. So,
Ms. Sarah, excuse me, I don't have my computer, but like the gentleman said, on the west side of Oliver Wheat is a subdivision. Am I saying that correctly? How about the east side? Does it show on your computer if that's a named subdivision or not?
Can you bring that forward?
Well, so I know the property you're talking about. So it used to be a fox pen. They fenced it in. Some gentleman I knew was running some of the weeds. But I was just wondering if the east side is subdivided yet or not.
It is, it's been sold as Denso.
subdivision they're building right there? It looks like a huge.
Yes, sir. It's all large tract acre, it's all very large tracts, and it was bought, or, I mean, it was subdivided and sold as a large tract family community. And the east side was, they just finished up the road, have some big nice gates going all the way around it, and I don't know if it's a named community or not, but that's what it was, sold to us as and advertised to us as.
Well, and the reason I'm asking, looking on the map that we have, I think it's the same. There's no showing, they're showing divisions of property, but they're not showing roads or nothing. It's just, is it still just woods? I didn't get a chance to go look.
The majority,
Yeah, and that's what I say, so behind the substation, it's just woods.
yes.
So it's not it's
yes.
not subdivided out. So if you're on my opinion, you're on the west side and it's subdivided out, it's a
Yes, sir.
subdivision, they sold lots,
Yes, sir.
that can be a named subdivision. But the opposite side, if it's still
It's,
one, they might have it drawn, but if it's not subdivided out and roads and stuff getting to it,
it is. Yeah, I don't know if they went through the correct planning and
then it's not.
everything, but it 100% is. You can go by there.
But
and
this
it
would
was-
have to come in front of us
Yeah.
to be subdivided already. That's
But
what I don't. I can't call on you, she has to. I'm sorry.
It was done as multiple minor resub.
Okay,
On the-
So separate resubs on the.
yeah, so
On
it
the-
is, again,
property.
so, which
Not a
basically
named
brings us back
subdivision.
to the intention of the master plan that Ms. Ferris brought
Yeah.
up, that it's intended for residential.
Multiple minor
yes, sir.
subdivisions.
Real quick, please, because we have technically closed.
AJ Holland, South Gaylord Road. So my buddy's building a house off of Lobel, Lobdet, whatever it is over there on 42. So I've been riding back and forth through there a lot, doing some work over there. There is one of those brownish red road signs on the east side of Oliver Wheat. I think it's called Old Fox Alley or something like that. So there is a sign there going back into
So
that
a
direction.
subdivision entrance type,
Yes.
that's what you, okay, thank you.
Makes a big U. It's got two big black gates.
Okay, all right. So, yes, sir.
I was just gonna say, I think the question at hand here is, does it make sense to go from ag to C or to commercial in the middle of a very large agricultural zone area?
I'm sorry.
She warned
You
us.
did ask everybody to sound.
Actually, it was an alarm, and that was supposed to have been this morning. So
PM instead of
there you go.
AM.
It was not a phone call. Okay.
So that's my only comment, is that it doesn't make sense to me to put commercial down here in the middle of what looks like ag lots, ag zone, residential area. And following the master plan, it doesn't make sense to put a commercial development essentially in the
I
middle
have
of a bunch
a,
of
I
ag.
have a question. Why does Demco need this property? Is it something similar to the problem they had on Forest Club Road
No,
with brownouts and so forth?
they're building a new office building.
So
It's not anything to do with the power.
they're trying to move to, and I retired from Demco, so I'm speaking on that, just to be straight honest with you. They try to get the equipment and all this away from the city, because they're pulling out right here on 63 with traffic. We every time we come to these meetings, nice first night, we didn't hear traffic. So I'm gonna bring it up. But when they're trying to pull out trucks and trailers, they need to go out. So back to what you said, it doesn't belong in rural. So I live in rural, so my power is gonna go out. Now, we don't wanna put a substation or a building out there to keep power on. It falls to the council, again, in the future, for infrastructure. Now, I'm not saying we need to put a building here. I'm not there saying that, but I disagree with everything saying that in the rule, we shouldn't have the fire station, we shouldn't have the power. We have to have infrastructure, not just at the red light in the city. We need infrastructure outside also.
And I think
So
if it was an
I don't
expansion.
I don't believe we have that in a master plan, saying we're gonna be able to put fire stations and power throughout the system.
Yeah, but I,
You
and
know? I mean, we
think if
can't
it
leave
was
them
a-
out.
If it was an expansion to that substation right there, I think it's a different conversation as to whether or not it benefits the residents in that area.
I don't disagree
Yeah,
with that.
I agree. And to your point about fire stations and things like that, I think in most of the larger, like the agricultural R1, I'd have to look to verify, but there's a category in there for civic and municipal uses, and we actually cited that, I think, recently for a fire station, that it could kind of fall within that existing zoning
So-
because it was a civic and municipal use.
So what is this, R1?
I don't think that qualifies the same as a parish-funded, in my opinion, entity like a fire station.
Like a fire
or pub-
station,
yeah,
Well, I'm
police
talking about
station,
for Demco, it's not parish funded.
Right.
But they have to have a yard somewhere to put their equipment. And it could be anybody,
Yeah.
not just Demco. It could be Energy or whoever.
Yes, sir.
The last week and a half, we've had two massive outages that shut half the parish down. One of them was down for about 45 minutes, the other one was about 15 minutes. The infrastructure is strained. I mean, and Demco is trying to upgrade it with substations. And if this can assist with that, you know, I think this should have consideration. You know, I mean, I don't like to admit this, but when the power went out, I was on a power recliner all the way back. I couldn't get up.
Well,
Do you know what that's like? You know, I had to get my wife to help bail me out with a power inverter in my truck, on extension cords. I get out of the chair.
well,
And I'm on a BPAP.
And I
So-
think that the issue, what we're explaining though, because it's an office building, it's like no other commercial, no different than any other commercial. Like if you had concrete trucks or you had, it's strictly for business function and not power. It has no bearing on the power that's being provided. It's a completely different structure. So, yes, sir.
I agree that we have infrastructure problems with substations and electrical equipment. A lot of that is driven strictly by geography. I mean, where the power lines are, where the power needs to go. In this case, what we're talking about is a support yard. And personal feeling, I think we could probably choose a better spot. I understand you need one. I understand it completely, but I think we could probably choose a spot that our master plan has identified as being an area for that type of activity. But if it were a transformer yard, this is an absolutely totally different question.
Different.
If it were what? I'm sorry. If it
If
were.
this were actually electrical equipment, transmission equipment, this is a different conversation.
Like the
If
other
it was
stuff
an
like-
expansion of the substation for purposes of providing power to the
Yeah.
community, totally different conversation versus where we
Well, the
are
guys,
now.
the guys that are operate, that's what Demco is. We serve rural. That's our main focus. It has been for 80 years. I've been looking for a year and a half to 2 years for a suitable place, and this is the first one that I found, and it right by our substation. And it will help everybody get the lights back on a lot quicker. It's a low-keyed operation, except when there's a hurricane or a 2016 flood event or something. It's a very low-keyed operation. It's not a lot of traffic. There's going to be, 15 to 18 employees at the most. We're not going to be open to the public. It's going to be gated. So it's not going to be a lot, and it's all on 42, which is a major state highway. We're not trying to get in the middle, halfway up Oliver Weed in this development. We're on a state highway. So I just like y'all to consider that. There's not a whole lot of options available where we are right here that fits our needs.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, any other comments? Because I think they express it's across the street. It's in different locations from all these homes, and it is, like Ms. Ferris said, we've got to consider the master plans, et cetera. So do we have any other comments, or do we have any motions?
I'll make a motion to deny.
Have a second? All right, seconded by Mr. Clemens. To deny the request. Go from ag to C1. Okay, can we take a vote, please?
Mr. Engler?
And just for clarification, a yes denies it. Motion to deny.
Mr. Engler?
No.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
No.
Mr. Burns? Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Ms. Long?
Yes. Okay, so that request, the yeses will, so it's denying the request
Yes.
for the zoning change. Sure, yes, sir.
Other category that might fit a little bit better, because we're not industrial, you know. I don't think you would classify us industrial. Does it have to be commercial? Can it, or is there any other leeway?
Any thoughts on that? But,
I
yeah,
can't
better-
speak for everyone here, but the master plan, I think, is what majorly influenced my vote, is because our master plan doesn't really allow for commercial in that area. So future land use describes that whole area. I guess to summarize, commercial is intended on being closer to these major, I guess, more major highways, closer to the interstates. The maps in the master plan that show future land use doesn't designate anything over there as commercial. So that's what, when we're looking at the long-term plan, future land use, looking for places that may show as commercial might be more well within future land use areas for commercial. Does that make sense?
When's the new one that we're passing? The new plan, when should that be out? Do we know yet?
Yeah, I don't think the official future land use has been adopted, right?
I think
Right.
the master
So-
plan was introduced at the last meeting, if I remember correctly, the last council meeting.
Yeah,
So-
and we're referencing maps that are not quite official yet, but they're pretty well set. But that's what we've hired, the parish has hired the firm that we've been using to make these maps.
Well, and also referencing the map that we have to work with now with the existing 2013 master plan. So if you looked at the 2013 master plan that we're still under now, but you could kind of have an eye to the future of where the future one is headed, and we kind of knew this was heading in the direction of commercial, I think it'd be a different opinion there than it's rural now, and it's going to stay rural according to what the new master plan.
On that master plan, my question, is that gonna be a fluid from time to time changing? Or is that permanent stuff for life?
No, it's
fluid,
I
right?
don't think any of it's a fluid.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So-
Document to a degree,
So
but
we're based on what is coming out, but it can change in the future also, right?
Sure,
Sure.
but I
Making
think,
sure. That's what I was
right,
making sure.
and, but in this particular case, understanding what's there currently, what was indicated to property owners that made purchases, all of those things considered, and there's certainly other opportunities that y'all can explore. And so, and again, if it were about getting power to people, that's one thing, but it has no bearing. Now, granted, for that power station, y'all would be located closer, but you could end up with another location that you're closer to a different power station. A different, we've approved two that, so there's new ones are being developed as well as, those that are existing that who knows where you would find that you may be close to one of those. So I don't really think that has any bearing, so.
And I can help you get a copy or access to that future land use map? Because it's not official yet, it hasn't really been released, but it may be something that you want to look at when you're looking at other pieces of property that could potentially be a good fit.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
when I was talking to the realtor and through, not directly to the owners, their intention, from what I understood, was to have this on 42 commercial. We know from the get-go, so I don't know if I misunderstood something or someone told me something wrong, but, and also the 9-acre part behind our substation, you know, that was a possibility they were talking about too.
That isn't indicated in any of the things that we have, so I don't know who like guided you that direction and where their source of information came, but.
So, yeah, I mean, basically I was told, no, it's not gonna be a problem, you know, getting it rezoned.
Well,
But anyway.
I'm not
All right.
sure who would tell you that,
Yeah.
because
All right,
I'm
thank
not
you.
sure how they would know that, so, all right, thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 7I, case number 25-49, 30290 Charles King Road, parcel number 0127985, going from R2 to R1 is the request of Council District Number 9. Is there anyone here to represent that item? If you come forward, please, and state your name. And if you'll sign in, please.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
thank
Linda
you.
Roberts, and I purchased this property at 30290 Charles King Road back in 1996. And it was an acre of land at that time, but it's an acre of land. My neighbors on the east side of me are mobile homes. My neighbors on the west side of me are mobile homes. The property across the street from me is a mobile home. And the property behind me is Bankston's Trailer Park, which of course is all nothing but mobile homes. So I was looking to see about possibly getting rezoned to where I could put an additional mobile home right behind my mobile home too, for one of my family members.
Does anyone have any questions? Mhm.
R1, I believe, calls for 1 residence per acre, and you're looking to put a second residence on 1.3 acres.
Yes.
Yes,
It was
so
for
it's
your
a-
brother, correct?
Right.
So it's
Have it just-
your family petition would fix this. Talked to the mayor of Albany, and she said these are wonderful people. If they was in the city limits, it wouldn't be an issue. They're right on the line. You need to take care of this person, your brother, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's a hardship case,
if
but we
grant
can't
what
make
you-
the call because it's R2.
If we grant
get
what you're
R1.
asking for tonight, we're not going to help you.
The request is to go to
No,
R1.
because she'll get a second address for the
I have
for
a
the brother.
second address. I had this property subdivided back in 2014.
So she can't put a trailer on it
And they
'cause
gave
it's
me,
R2.
the parish gave me 3 different addresses. But at that time, I didn't realize that, what I was subdividing was gonna, that I was gonna have an issue with all of this at that time, because,
There was no zoning.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have addresses already. In fact, I'm using one already, for a mobile home that I have way on my other acre and a half. That's under the jurisdiction of Albany, which I didn't know that I got one under Livingston Parish and one under the town of Albany, the jurisdiction, so.
This application shows 2 pieces of property,
Correct.
one with a trailer on it already, and then the one behind it, another L shape with no
Correct.
residence on it?
It has a trailer on it also.
Okay.
Right. I have a brother in that one, and I want to put another brother right behind me.
And with it being
He's
R2, she
disabled.
can't, even though she's got another address. So it needs to be R1, anything where they can put the brother in the trailer.
But this would be the addition of a trailer,
Correct. Small little trailer, yes,
which would
ma'am.
be handled through the planning office, right? If we
Correct.
granted the
Through-
rezone, then that would be handled through the planning office, whether or not to grant. Since it's a lineal descendant.
Sir, did you need to make any other comments, or you're just hanging out and to be a part of?
Reason why we need a trail in the back,
Mm-hmm,
because our brother's disabled,
right.
and I had cancer surgery not too long ago. Did a knee surgery, I got 2 other surgeries plus an eye surgery. Being close to her, she's the only one that can help. And that's the reason why we're asking for this trail.
Okay.
Because she's in her mid-60s, and I'm killing her with all the stuff I got wrong with me. And that's the reason why we ask.
Okay. Do you mind stating your name for the record,
Oh,
please?
Sidney Roberts.
Okay, thank you. We just need it for the record.
Write it
Thank you.
down.
Please, if you don't mind.
Yes, ma'am. I'm her husband.
Thank you so much. Okay, if we have no other comments, I'm going to close the public hearing. And any comments, Mr. Keene, that,
No, you've heard, I mean, it's just
Yeah.
strictly, it's one of those things where we can't fix it. you
right,
know?
without
And
doing.
you guys
yeah.
have to fix it and the council has to fix it.
Okay. Any
I
other-
don't know that it makes sense for all of that to be R2. If they're all trailers existing, I don't know that R2 was the correct
Correct thing, anyway.
zoning for that whole area. I mean, I'm looking at, that whole area right there is all zoned currently R2, but every single one of them, I can't tell how big these are, but
They all
it doesn't
violate
fit
it.
R2
Yeah.
to me.
From
just because it
43
all-
all the way to the end of that road is trailers the whole way. Trailer
Yeah.
park, trailer. I think there's one house.
Yeah.
No. So Brady, I had this same instance today down in Springfield, nothing but trailer lots on 3 roads,
Yeah.
50-foot wide lots, 100-foot deep, and it's all R2. They were designed to put trailers, and I can't issue permits for it.
Right.
I do want to also point out, they're not asking for R1.5. So that they're asking for kind of the bare minimum that they would have to get in order to place the second mobile home. So I think that's a sincere request for what their current situation is.
Okay, that being said, does anyone have a motion?
I second that.
Second it? Oh, look there, everybody at once. Okay, Mr. Dana was this, I believe? Yeah, okay. Pick, whichever you want. Mr. Guidry, Mr. Dana, Ms. Fair. Okay, if we could take a vote.
Mr. Engler?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Wax?
Yes.
Mr. Dana?
Yes.
Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Ferris?
Yes.
Ms. Long?
Yes. Okay, that can move forward, and we wish you the best of luck. Okay, item number 8, we have no parish attorney present. Review engineer, I don't think has any comments on zoning. So planning department, anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and planning commissioners, any comments? Okay, we are going to adjourn the zoning meeting if everybody needs to take a break, and then we will let them reset things and
Make it quick.